and they get to hit buy, and the dopamine starts flowing, and they get all excited.
That would have been the best set of the EX era by far if those gold stars did not get leaked out like that.
I'm just over it. I think people are complaining too much about.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Off Center Podcast, your home for perfectly imperfect hobby talk, one Off Center take at a time. I'm one of your hosts, Mason, with the Girl Scout equivalent personified co-host that I have here. My caramel delight, Samoa, is Radar. My tag-along is Thrifty, and my favorite, Thin Mint, that's Squeaks. On the pod this week, we're twisting Radar's and Squeaks' arm. We're going to talk about speculating and what that's like in a boom. TCGplayer showed off the Roca Sifter, and it's going to crash the singles market. And we're talking about pop reports and why nobody cares. Doesn't matter. And Thrift is tired of listening to people complain. We're going to talk about that and see what's going on there. But hey, how are you guys doing? Hello. How are you?
I can't believe you just said Squeaks is your favorite.
Okay, no, there's two things, bro. First of all, Thrifty is tired of people complaining. Thrifty complains more than any person I know.
Listen, I'm complaining about people complaining. It's fine.
Wow.
It's ironic.
We'll get into it. You'll have a chance to defend yourself.
It's on
for being
brand. I don't know what to
hypocrite
tell you, bro.
But also, Thin Mint, bro.
You're thin.
You are a little thin, man. What are we
You're
talking
a little-
about?
you
Bro,
are.
I feel like that. I feel like that could be like a thing, like a nickname. Like Mason might have just created a generational nickname.
You're the
Oh,
thin
you my
mint
little
now.
Thin Mint. You know, like, dude, come on. That's got it. There's
I've
something
already
there.
got the LLC in place.
What would I be?
Thin Mint,
What would I
Thin Mint
I'm
TCG.
John's trademarking.
What are
What
the
cookie
other
am I?
ones? What are there more than those three? Because that's all I care about, actually.
Um,
I mean, there's Dosey Dos. And because
Mason
of my
is a
jeans, that
dosey.
could be me. If you guys
Yeah.
want
Mason
to
is a dosey do for
Good
sure.
dose.
Dosey-do.
What flavor is that though?
Who knows? Who doesn't? Who cares? We're doing a card podcast.
Cookies
Yeah.
are
So which flavor are we speculating on?
Tune in next week when I compare everyone to a beef jerky flavor.
Ayo,
Well,
I'm
I like
all
that.
in
That's
on
nice.
some
It's I bought out the entire P&W of Thin Mints, so I've increased the price.
Good move.
So
Like
let's hop right in. I'll start off. My topic is Mason may have mentioned there in the intro, but my take here on the speculation of the market here is that anybody using historical data to make plays on cards and speculate on cards, you're an idiot. Just straight up. That's simple. I
We
think
good?
that
We good down there. You okay?
Go on.
I mean, look, okay.
Don't
we are-
leave us there, please.
Oh, I was kind of hoping for some greater reactions there. Clearly
No,
it's like-
I mean,
it is. Look, I have my entire life buying collectibles. I just buy from my gut. I buy what I like.
He's a
I have
gut
good
guy.
taste. I'm a gut guy, and it's worked out. And I sit back and I watch people just analysis paralysis, looking at all this data, trying to make a move on what to buy. I see these companies like Card Ladder and whoever else creating algorithms to buy. And then I have friends on the other side who are just completely taking advantage of those algorithms because they're too slow, they're wrong, they're looking at the wrong card, whatever it is. I think that historical data, especially in a market like we are in today, is just not just useless. It hurts you. You are getting hurt if you are not up to speed, up to par, or have the intuition or the radar to buy.
Ooh.
the radar. Ooh.
Damn. I like
So
That's
so
good. The radar
so
is
you're
good.
still using fundamentals of some kind. So what type of fundamentals are you looking for instead of
Vibes.
actual just data?
He's on
Um,
big vibes, dude.
Vibes. My fundamentals are vibes. I mean, I finally made money on a Dragon Ball Z item. I bought and sold, speculated
Let's go.
on manga, on the original, Japanese comic books. And Dragon Ball was one of the big ones, and it's currently probably the biggest IP as far as manga is concerned at the moment. You saw, maybe you saw, I sold my 7.0 to Jeremy Padower, as well as a One Piece and a Yu-Gi-Oh. But yeah, that was just you make fun of me every week about my Dragon Ball Z addiction.
I'm so proud of you for making money on Dragon Ball. That is the best thing I've heard all week. And somehow you're still sad about it. So I really can't
Yeah,
with you.
I am. Yeah,
Okay.
it is. I mean, it's tough. It was something that you buy. I wanted to keep for a long time, and there is a really promising outlook for all that too, I think. But
so to clarify, your take is that using historical analysis, you're an idiot, right?
yes.
Okay.
Are you gonna call me an idiot? Here we go. This is where Sean twisted. It makes me.
I have one of my majors in college was in history. One of my cornerstones of everything I've ever done in this industry has been with the belief that my historical understanding of cards and card prices has aided me. So you are calling me arguably one of the biggest idiots that has ever been in the hobby, which might be true. But my question for you is, you speculated on manga.
Mm-hmm.
What was it that made you think
who told you to do that
would be a good investment?
Yeah, here we go. How do I work around this?
How do you not mention that you thought, it's comics for anime, and comic historical sales prices make a lot of sense. That's right, Johnny boy.
No, what I was looking at was the growth and acceptance of anime and Japanese IPs into the Western world.
The historical growth.
It wasn't a story. It was the future. It was the data that was showing the growth. So you look at the chart and you see the sales up here in 2027. I was looking at that, not at the bottom. I was looking up here, right? That those made up charts in every business meeting. Yeah, that's what I was looking at, the projected growth. So I was not looking at the historical past.
So not historical, but future possible.
Your argument is you shouldn't use the real data that exists. You should use the fake data that you make up for the future that doesn't exist.
Which goes against everything I say in every.
There's a lot of people doing that already.
Just manifest what you want. Just
manifesting.
Manifestation. There you go. See, that's Mason every morning is in front of the mirror. Manifesting what is just.
I killed John's topic he brought in 7 minutes. I'm so proud.
Already debunked. Okay,
so now I've clowned on you a little bit. Let's deep dive into what you're really saying, which is that are you talking short term? Are you talking long term? Like forever, since the start of time? Like
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, I think the short term is the more in a market like today where it's so volatile. The short term data is hurting you because you've got that price memory from yesterday, or you got your algorithms built out that are not working properly. You're looking at your TCGplayer chart that is just peaks and valleys right now, and you're just trying to figure out, you're gambling essentially looking at that chart right now. Long term, obviously, I kind of believe in the cyclical nature of collectibles. I believe in I mean, it's really every industry is pretty cyclical when you look at it, but the short term side of the data where people are just like so locked in,
people are so serious, or so confident in like the prices of things today, which I think is just not like, it has no precedent, because literally we haven't seen this in the last 5 years, like for 5 years or whatever it's been. Like, I am not that I wouldn't be that confident in the prices of some of these cards. Like, I don't own them, but I would be selling if I had like the PSA 10 bangers, WotC bangers that people are just like crazy overpaying for right now. Actually, I don't know, but
yeah. So John, it's interesting because your argument, it's kind of coming back to like the joke Thrifty made, which is like on vibes, like buying on vibes, like gut instinct, essentially, that you should use your gut more. You shouldn't use these. Not that you shouldn't use them. Everything's a tool, but that like using these pricing algorithms, using your charts, your whatever, almost like puts you a step behind, because you're like waiting to see this thing that like might not occur. And like I'm trying to
it's a thought obstacle. It's an extra
someone that
thought
believes
obstacle.
in using historical analysis deeply. This is like really hard for me to play devil's advocate, but I'm pushing my limits here to try. It's to find your side of it. And one of the things I can think of that would really support your argument is that a lot of things that go up in cards right now are influencer driven, which you're not going to see on a chart. No chart's going to show you that a very popular influencer is going to come out and talk about a card, and that card's going to go to the moon. A really good example of this that, like, as I was saying that sentence popped into my mind was when Ando, Unlisted Leaf, right, that's his name, I think, talked about the Battle Festa Pikachu on his YouTube from 2016. The one that has all the starters in it. And that card skyrocketed because of that. And this was kind of in a time when, like, influencers, I would argue, did not have as much control of the hobby as what they do today. And that, I think that was like one of the earlier examples of like how a card could be manipulated and go parabolic. And to be clear, I don't think he was manipulating it. I think he was just talking about a card he liked, but his reach was so vast that it effectively had that effect where people
he has like over 1 million subs. Like he's
people went, purchased that card, and even to this day, that has now lasted as the Battle Festa card to own. And like at the time, it was not the most expensive Battle Fest. I believe the Pikachu with the Gengar was, or is it Gengar?
Yeah, there's the 20 or the one with Sylveon and Gengar in it, or Mega Gengar.
Yeah, and like that one was the most expensive. And then this
and now
one
it's like a $30,000 PSA 10.
Yeah, they're all really expensive now, but like that one passed it, and like truly, I think that video is one of the biggest contributing factors. You would have never seen that on a chart. You wouldn't have seen that in any historical trends. And so today, I would argue that's 100-fold, right? Anybody can go talk about a card.
The fact of the matter is, you don't even have to use charts because you could just go on YouTube and like, what's the most viewed video about a card, and then just like go off that, like they did with Twice Baked Jake when, well, it's data, but it's not like written data. You know what I mean?
No, but you're okay. So you're getting into exactly where I was hoping.
The waifu like thing,
sure,
boom, and all
which
that.
is the historical data that people are looking at is price data. But what they should be looking at is price data in conjunction with volume, with search metrics, with activity. Like, and the example I'd give from this is during COVID, or even like it would have been a little earlier than COVID. On my website's on Shopify, and I used to get like metrics of like what people were typing in the search bar, and I kept getting crazy high search metrics for Umbreon from Evolving Skies when Rayquaza was the most expensive alt art in that set, to the point that I started looking at the Google Trends data of search results for trading cards, and Umbreon just kept popping up and getting higher and higher, and was significantly higher than Rayquaza, to the point that
why you didn't buy Umbi?
I did. So that was when I like, my thesis was Umbreon's going to take over this set, that people care about that card more. And I went out and bought a bunch of them. Lo and behold, now today, saying that Rayquaza would be worth more than Moonbreon is like silly, right? And like this was like before Moonbreon was like even a coined term. And so that's a good example. No chart's going to show you that, but the charts of interest show you that, search traffic shows you that, things like that, right? And anyone can go use Google Trends to go look up how much a card's being searched or how much whatever. So that's just, that to me is like, I think your take, instead of calling everyone idiots, I think that's an off-center take. That's where I would land that. I think the better framing of that is using only historical price data instead of using the full picture, which is like, for any good speculator, I think is a necessity, is to learn how to use all forms of data in terms of like sales volume, right? We'll talk about a little later, things like pop reports and, record sales, determining market prices, all those kinds of things. Those all kind of like, all these topics like that we're talking about all kind of like fit into like buckets together. And I think falls under that too, where like, if you don't use those things and you only use price, you do set yourself up to be exposed a lot of the time, which I think is more probably where your headspace is at, is that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't think all of us that like charts and numbers and algorithms are
Yeah, you partner up.
Envies.
You partner up a Squeaks brain with a radar gut. You have like a
yeah.
diamonds just flowing out. You know?
If you use your gut instinct, John, on your one shoulder, and your numbers and algorithm instinct, Sean, on your other shoulder.
I just have radar on both shoulders. Is that bad? Is that so bad?
Yeah, I'm
Wait,
essentially like
John.
Yeah, it's like
Double Johns.
Cusco in Emperor's New Groove. It's just me, but in red and white.
I've never seen that.
What?
Come on.
I know.
Yeah, we gotta end the podcast.
Boo this man, chat. Boo this man.
Mason, what do you think? You run a card store.
Yes.
What? Does he?
I just thought that would be.
Does he?
Do you not use any data to help you determine what to buy, to help you determine how to navigate moving forward? Is everything you do on feels?
Me like card.
Nah, man. Card. Cards come in, cards go out. That's all there is to it.
You guys.
I don't have any control over who brings what in. What do you mean?
Mason's pure analytics. He's looking at the price point on TCGplayer and putting the percentage on it and moving it.
Yeah, guy. That's what I'm asking. Like, do you agree with what John said? We're all idiots for using data?
I think it's really easy to get stuck in the trap. And it kind of talks about what we were talking about price memory the other day, right? About how people are so used to seeing a card at one price and then, it goes up and we're like, oh, well, that can't happen. That can't be real. And then you kind of get trapped in that mindset. I was looking at the Mu EX from the 151 UPC. Y'all remember when that card was like $4? Y'all remember? Wasn't even that long ago.
Those were good times.
And then now it's $75. And we're just like, man.
Why don't we have 100?
We all knew that card was not a $3 card, $4 card. We all knew that. It didn't take a genius. Didn't take any fancy charts. Damn fancy charts, y'all chart. I don't need them to make
stupid spreadsheets.
Card. Yeah, so
is your spreadsheet going to tell you Mu EX is fire? I don't think so.
But no, it's important too in the business side of things. Like if you're looking at that chart and you're not looking at the sales velocity. I mean, I remember buying those Score Bunny on the ball promos when TCGplayer said $50, but there was 0 sales. Sure. I was buying them for $11, and then people were buying them off of that chart.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of like serialized stuff that comes into the shop. I'm like, and it's like, oh, the low on TCGplayer is like $2,000. Then you look and there's no sales, right? Or there was one sale like 6 months ago, and you're like, yeah, that's kind of simplifying it down and not really. I'm not using that to speculate anything, but yeah.
And that's the danger of like in a boom. When things go parabolic, especially a lot of these alternate games, like when people started specking on Dragon Ball and, because they saw One Piece is doing well and like, well, what about all the other Bandai games? And it's like, okay, well, did you see One Piece's sales volume on their charts before the spike? Still pretty high. Did you see Dragon Balls? It was non-existent. And then even after, oh, well, this card sold for $3,000. Now it's $3,000. Okay, it's had one sale. It's got 50 listed. And like, so clearly not a lot of, so like, again, I agree with you, but like the Mew example though, like, so I was somebody that bought a bunch of the Mews at $3, as we all know. I came to that conclusion based on the Darkrai Umbreon and Espeon Deoxys from the $100 plus box when those were $3 and went to over 100. Both textured cards, both really popular Pokemon, similar product style, gate kept between something expensive, used a lot of historical data to make that conclusion and do that when nobody else was doing that because it was a $3 overprinted card. Mew UPCs are everywhere. It's never going to do anything, and use that historical data to tell me. So I would make the argument there that like that historical data was extremely valuable. And no, you couldn't see it on the Mew chart, although the Mew chart would have told you that that was the most sold card over a 12-month span on TCGplayer. I guarantee it. I could not. I searched everywhere. It had like 19,000 plus sales over 12 months. And it wasn't even the full 12 months. It was like 9. I remember one night Mason and I Discord searched through just every popular single from every game we could think of, trying to find one higher than that. And it was like that Mew and then the Mewtwo were like the 2 highest. And just couldn't. I think I found one since then that has. But like at that time, couldn't find anything. And And like, so that should have told us that the demand was there, right? So like, I do think that there was still data in those charts. I think the conclusion that we're drawing from this, though, is that you shouldn't just use one point of data, a price data or a volume data or a population data or a whatever data. You should use all of the data and then still make a like step back conclusion. Like, not only what is this data telling me, but why could this data be flawed? Right? Like, think about it like a researcher that does like a a study or something like that. You always have to do that section that talks about like why your study could still be flawed or wrong, or the data sample set that you got like could have problems with it or whatever. Like, you have to like self-analyze. Should be doing that same thing here. Like, I see this picture that it's telling me, why could this picture be wrong? Like, challenge yourself. And I think a lot of people don't do that either. They get really excited about like, oh, I found something, and they get to hit buy, and the dopamine starts flowing, and they get all excited. But like, the problem is, that's good. That's good. Good turnaround. But yeah, the now I can't. I don't even know where I was going. Oh, John, you cracked me up because I wasn't even thinking about you when you said that or when you did that, but then it was so funny. Oh man. But anyways, like, yeah, but I think people get so excited about that they forget to like sometimes challenge their thesis. Because like, I've had some plays before that I've done that I thought, the data makes sense.
Terapagos,
all the numbers make
sense. Terapagos.
Yeah, Terapagos. I like that was a card I speculated on from Stellar Crown. I could have written you a thesis on why that card was undervalued. I just sold 65 copies of that card to a good friend of mine and lost $50 a pop.
You homie scammed a friend on
I got absolutely raked for nearly $2,000 on those Terapagos because I have now deemed, with a reassessment of the data, that card is never coming back. Or if it does, the time frame that it comes back on would not have been worth holy. So I cut my losses, right? So like, I don't always win. But my point is that like,
you lost
agree.
Once. Let's fix that.
We found his one L.
No. You don't get to frame it like that. No.
I'm gonna just highlight his one L because it's all I have really this time.
That was actually okay. Fun fact for you guys. So I sold it to a friend, and he didn't want to buy all of them. And part of the deal, I literally told him, I said,
you have to buy all the
price that you want to pay for it, but you have to buy all the Terapagos. As a sweetener, I'll tell you what I paid for them, so you can hang it over my head of how much I lost for the rest of my life. And he said, "Yep, bought it right then and there." So yeah, that was it. But yeah, I don't know. I like kind of agree with your sentiment. It
shifts, it changes. I'm just.
You've always been a big feels guy, though. Like, ever since I have known you, you are like, oh, dude, I can feel the rumbling in my tummy. And it's like a 50-50. I'm like, I need to go to the bathroom, or I'm investing my money. And sometimes it's both at the same time. So it's just like, that's when you know you've really hit. And
that's the home run.
Yeah. So it's one of those, like, I think it's a personality trait too, right? Whereas like, I have to have the data and the formulas and the algorithms.
Squeaks is gonna have to make a whole research paper before he buys something.
Literally, like, to the point that I bring this up all the time. I've said it on this podcast at some point. I've said it on every version of Collectible Conversations we had. The Charlie Herlocker was on a live one time and had said, if you are never losing, you are probably suboptimally investing because you're not taking enough risk to where you're missing out on a lot of things that would have hit, trying to never have a miss. And that's how I used to be. So I've really had to like work with myself essentially to like get over that hump and sometimes just pull the trigger on something, even when like the research paper is not done yet. Like, I've done some research and I feel pretty good about it, but not enough to like pull it and like just get myself to do it, because sometimes that extra time it takes to like see it, it's already happened. Like, I'll give you an example. It's the I did really well with 151 UPCs. I wanted to do the same thing with Prismatic when they were like 180 and had myself convinced like, oh, these are going to take off. But Prismatic over as a whole was struggling. And so like I couldn't quite get the picture there where I could like 100% it to myself. Now those things are 300 and some bucks a piece. And like I eventually did get it there where I was like, okay, I'm ready to buy them. And then I went to buy them and they were already like 260. The margin was gone.
There's so many stories of with like all of us and everyone around us of like arguing over $1 a card because it was $5 and we were instead of paying $6 to get 1,000 of them, we were just being too hard-headed or whatever it was, right?
Too like narrow in our like, I need this margin.
And then a year later, that card's $100, and it's like, who cares about $1 at that point?
Dude, and that's also something that I've been like working on lately is like that
being less stingy and nitpicky about prices.
Well, like the whole like, where do I expect this to go? Where is it today? What is my threshold where I'd actually pay for it to? And why am I waiting? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why am I like, oh,
it's like if it's a $10 gap, what the fuck are we waiting for? Like,
yeah. But the problem becomes if you become too loose with that, you start overpaying for stuff very quickly. That like you're giving your margin away when you would have been better off just accepting less of them and making more on those than like, because you're cost averaging yourself up then, right? And so that's that can get out of hand real quick if you're not super careful. And like a lot of this comes down to discipline. Right. I know we're kind of like we've slightly like shifted the topic here, but it comes down to like discipline when you speculate. And that's hard. Like it can be really hard, especially when you've got a million jokers in your ear telling you like, oh, no, just buy it, man. Just buy it. Like,
we are usually the other way, though. Let's be real.
But also like,
not John. Every time I've ever messaged John about anything, he's like, yeah, just do it, dude. Just
well, like the other like problem we have like mentally, I think, is we've been wrong once. Like,
shut up! You're so stupid.
No, it's like how many people have lost money on Pokemon? It's all like it's gone up like crazy over the like. It is so many of us like we're just like we haven't been wrong. It's like we've been spoon fed and like babied all our lives.
We need to take some more L's.
Honestly, like mentally,
I think
it's
hard because it becomes irrational where it's just like, well, just buy anything. It'll go up. You'll get bailed out. Like I remember I bought a Pikachu card, the full art from those. They're not lunch boxes, but they were some little product they made. And I paid like $13 a piece.
Oh, the Paldea Adventure boxes?
The SVO1 promo. Yeah.
I bought like 300 of these. They were like $13 pop. This thing cratered to like $7. And I was like, because at the time they hadn't done the reprint. And then they did the reprint wave where they just flooded them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm never getting bailed out. And then I got bailed out. Got bailed out on it like $17 pop or whatever.
The Terrapagos guy also bailed him out.
Yeah, Terrapagos guy bailed me out. And they're still running. And he'll probably do really well because I haven't pre-graded any of them. But like the point I'm making is like that doesn't last forever, right? Sports people have realized this the hard way, that like you don't always get bailed out. And like eventually, you know, everyone's like our time will be called. Like we'll have to pay the Pied Piper, right? And so like at some point that's gonna come. And so you like it's almost like right now, the less disciplined you are, the better you do. But eventually, like some of those people are going to get crushed. And we saw this during COVID, right? Where people, as the market turned and inventory really started to dive, by the time they realized like, okay, I might not get bailed out on some of these things anymore and went to sell, liquidity was gone. Things were super down into the toilet.
People are more excited to buy when it's going up than when it's like drying.
Correct. And they got bailed out right now by this boom. If they held, how many people then held? Right? Not many, probably.
It was tough when you don't see when you see the zero liquidity on a lot of like really big cards, or the Elati is like more liquid at 24K or 20K than it is at 4. You know what I mean? Like that's so stupid. But
it's like I'm thinking about when to sell my 151 bundles. Do I want to wait for it to slow down in liquidity at $300 or whatever it ends up at, or do I want to sell them all at 250 and be happy with that?
Well, so, and that's a really good example. Like what you guys just brought up is like a topic. I know that we've got like a million other things to discuss, but like is the liquidity factor in a boom. And it's because people do the opposite of what they should be, right? Things boom, you should sell. things crater, you should buy. Like if you believe in the long-term trajectory, it's the same thing with like the stock market, right? If you believe long-term the stocks are going to do well, you should buy when it's low and you should sell when it's high, right? But people do the opposite because they FOMO. Your liquidity of your ELOTI at 20 to 24K is higher because everyone's like, oh my God, but what if it goes 30? And now it's a card I needed. When it was 4K, there's no pressure. There's no pressure to buy it. I'll buy it tomorrow if I want it. You know what I mean? Whereas like, and the liquidity thing's really interesting because we saw this with Celebration UPCs back when they were like 400 during COVID, booming. You could sell them all day at $400 to 430. Then they fell to like 320-ish for a while, and they didn't sell at all, like unless you undercut market.
Well, Celebrations like sealed is really it feels like hard to sell even now.
Well, and then it spiked, right? They've spiked up. You could sell them as long as you were like 5% under market, they'd sell. But the higher that's went now, it's become more illiquid, and like everything hits that because it becomes harder again. It becomes a choice, right? And whereas like when the market's booming and something's 5% under market and you literally can't find anything under market, well, that's an easy sell. Like you can sell them all day. And this is like what you're saying with your 151 bundles, John. I could sell them right now, undercut market a little bit, and they'll be cleaned out in minutes. But if I try to sell them and maximize it, I may lose my liquidity option because I may end up selling, or I may sell a few here at my 300 maximize. But if that liquidity slowly dries up and price starts to go with it, now I'm trying to sell these on a downtrend without liquidity. And I might have just made more selling the whole bundle in one go. And I think this is like, it's another aspect of data, right? And like figuring out when the right time to sell, when the right time to buy is, being disciplined and not getting caught up in all of the narratives or, the other side of the argument. We talked about like not using data and using some of your internal feelings, managing to stave off other people's, right? Right now, if you talk to the average person in the hobby, it's buy, right? Everything could be double the price tomorrow. Everything's going crazy. You got to get in now while the getting's good. Except that's like the exact opposite of what you really should be doing. Like right now, realistically,
you should be selling all of your stuff and rebuying in like a year or two when it's cheap or whatever.
The money's already been made. Like the biggest gains have already been made. Like in this hobby, if like all these crazy posts that Z makes all the time, the gains have already been made. Like if you don't already have that stuff, buying it to make an extra 5%, that's not investing. That's flipping. And that's a very different thing, highly volatile and highly risky, especially on stuff that high. But like, yeah, anyways, I know we really pivoted that topic, but yeah, I don't know. It's just, I
think we're still there. We were there.
Yeah.
That's a never-ending, there's a lot of branches you can go off when it comes to that stuff. So,
but I think a lot of people need to hear it because there aren't as many. Actually, that's not true. There's still a lot of finance creators on YouTube. I think the ecosystem has just shifted to a different bunch than maybe the group that was making it during COVID. There's still a little bit of overlap, but it's a lot of different creators now.
It's buy, sealed, and hold crowd versus like.
Sure, which there's a lot of merit to those arguments too. Could be another thing we debate, but I think the biggest thing is you don't see a lot of people saying, sell. Now's the time to sell. Now's the time to sell.
Also,
Stop
it's
buying, sell now.
don't just because you sell your card doesn't mean you can never get that back. Like I don't understand what people's like hang up is. It's like, oh, I have to go back and buy another one again. That was you had fun doing that the first time. That was like.
Yeah, you get to get the dopamine again.
You get to get the dopamine twice. What are we talking about?
Like, because people fear, but Thrifty, what if I sold it and there never was another chance to buy in again?
God,
well, a lot of people.
There'll be more cards. There's another card. There's going to be another card they want. I don't.
Correct. That is the right answer, though. There will be another card you like that you can spend your money on.
It's like I watched a video and he's like, don't sell your cards. Hold on tight to your cards. I'm like, are you dumb? Like if your shit is like tripled, like 10x'd, sell it and buy it back later. Who cares? This was your hobby. Like you can redo your hobby again. It'll be great.
You could change something in your life with that money. You can
buy a house. You can get a new car. Oh, you just found a car in your closet that you didn't know was that price. I'm so sorry. You could buy a Tesla.
I think
pointed at a particular someone, Thrifty. I'm going to say.
I think the name of this podcast
I
is.
think in his defense, I think for his audience that message is really strong. Like I think there's a lot of people that sell and then they can't buy that card back. I think the argument you're making is it doesn't make sense to not sell because there will inevitably be another card
opportunity
that you like as much or more that then you could buy in at a lower price point. I think the only caveat to that argument is if you have like your grail card, like
sure, of course.
Like for example, for me in video games, one of the things I've always wanted to own, always, is the Nintendo World Championship gray or gold card. Always. If I get one of those, that's it. Like it's never going. I don't care what they run to. Like it's going with me until I'm selling out of everything because I'm not confident I could get another one again. And that was the peak to me, right? So I think for a lot of people, they feel that way about their cards. This is it. This is the card I've always wanted. Not rationalizing that, like, have you always?
Oh, there's like a pop of 20,000 of them. Like, who cares?
Or did you want it for like 2 years? Sure, and that's a great transition into what I want to talk about, which is that there is no such thing as too high of a pop. None. Absolutely zero.
If Van Gogh Pikachu taught us anything.
Yeah, the amount of times that I hear people say, well, it's pop 40,000. Can't go up. Just absolutely cannot go up. It's pop 40,000. Most overprint card they've ever done. Too high. X, Y, and Z, blah, blah. John, maybe this is the good thing for your argument about using historical data. This other card I really got popping in didn't do anything, so this card can't either. That's so stupid. So stupid. Because what you're not acknowledging, and my argument for this is growth of the hobby and attrition of people out of the hobby, right? Let's say a card has 40,000 pop. Let's say half of those end up in the hands of people that eventually exit the hobby, but don't exit their positions. And I think this is a lot more people than what people give credit to, that like they have their card that they like and it sits on their shelf or whatever, and then they quit engaging with the hobby for a while. They have a kid, they get a job, they go out and do whatever, find a new hobby, any of those kinds of things. And sorry, I'm getting distracted because my cat's walking up here. Probably gonna see her in a second. But that card doesn't re-enter, right? So now your effective entry pop that's left would be 20,000, right? And then it's how many of those versus how many new people come into the hobby that want to experience that card that never got to when it came out, right? This is why we see a lot of cards that are cheap at one point in time go way crazy later. And people are like, even though there's no other fundamentals like a sealed product or something that drives them, like, why? And it's like, because they never experienced that. Again, I know I use this reference all the time, but the Sylveon box that was at big box stores in 2012 that they literally couldn't sell at clearance off the shelves, and today that box is like $1,500 or something. That is a great example of, at the time, no one wanted that product. And anyone that was around back then doesn't really love that product because they remember it was available everywhere. Nobody cared about it. It wasn't interesting. But you have 10 years of people, more than that, 14 years of people that have entered the hobby that have none of that price memory, any of the lack of interest in it, none of that. It's just an interesting product. Pokemon, a newer example, TCG Classic Collections. Nobody wanted those. They were available everywhere. They were on big box stores for $130 forever. They were at distributors. You could get them all day. It's a crap product. It was overpriced. You had content creators that now make anime content because they quit making Funko content that told you that it was a horrible buy and that you're going to all lose your money. And now those boxes are 400 plus. Japanese ones are 500 plus, and they're going to keep running because all of those cards are incredibly low pop. But yeah, it's just like, to me, people really undervalue how many people come into the hobby and leave the hobby, and they take these pop reports as like set in stone, that like they are the end all be all to determining a card's price. And that there are just so many examples on both sides that you can give of low pop and high pop that completely break the narrative of all of that. And so my argument is there's no such thing as too high of a pop. That
well, it's like demand. If the card is good enough, yeah.
If the card's good enough, if there's enough interest in it, it's going to do its thing.
Isn't it also safe to say that the more pop, or the higher pop a card has, the more likely that people are also cracking and resubmitting them as well. I mean, what's the percentage would you say is resubs on
of gray felt hats?
Oh, see, like that one might be high, right? Because there's a lot of incentive.
There's an
So
upside. The upside is
one
crazy.
One of the hardest
compared to
things
the
about
nines.
cracking or resubmitting is you're paying the in cost again and the upcharge cost. Like a gray felt's a hard one because you're probably getting upcharged on that even in a 9, right? And so if you're
no, it's maybe now. Yeah, now it's like
maybe now, right? Or like any of those cards where it's like right on the edge, right?
Like
because
2 weeks ago it was fine, but now it's
correct. Now that they've consolidated their tiers, because like that's the other thing. Grading now, like anything over $500 is like a $65 charge for a card or something like that. So if you're doing PSA, and so that's just that's not where I thought you were taking that, Mason. But in terms of the to say like they're regraded, right? I think that it's probably a decent percentage, like 5 or less, maybe. But still, like that would be statistically probably significant. I thought you were going to say the higher the pop would signify the more
popular the card.
Yeah. Right. Which to me, right? Because nobody's grading 30,000 plus of a card that nobody cares about. And so you're only sending that many if there's a massive, massive interest in it, and 30,000 of a card. Like, let's just say in any grade, like, let's just assume even distribution, 50, 59s, and 10s. 30,000 of a card 5 years ago would have been terrifying. Today, there's so many cards.
That's a drop in the bucket, baby.
That have 30,000 graded of them. And I think that number could only grow. If the hobby keeps growing or even just stays steady, because again, people leave, new people enter, just stays steady, those numbers become very irrelevant. Like if the hobby doubled in size, and this is the argument that people used to make in like Sun and Moon and stuff, when those, I actually had a good talk with Jake the other night, Pokenomics, about this. People used to say that pops in Sun and Moon were really high on certain cards, and Sword and Shield were really high.
They're like sub 500, bro.
Yeah, you look at those relative to Scarlet and Violet, you look at them relative to some of these promos we have, they're not high anymore because the amount of people that have come in and left, the amount that the hobby's still grown. If we I still don't think the hobby size-wise is as big as sports cards. I think it's still got a ways to go in that in terms of just total participants lifetime. Because sports have been around forever, and you have to look at lifetime because people enter and leave, so it's always new fresh blood. It's not just the total amount at any one given time. That again, these numbers might just literally be irrelevant 2 years from now. And I'm not saying to ignore them. Again, there's no very little data that's worth ignoring. Outliers essentially is like what you generally want to ignore.
Or like big pops just aren't as scary as they were maybe like 5 years ago. Like we used to be like afraid of that, but now it's like good. Let's pump some more. Like pump more.
Pump them numbers.
Those are rookie numbers.
When people look at the pop report, they are only comparing it to other pop report numbers. They're not comparing it to bigger things. You look at the Van Gogh, 50,000 PSA 10s or whatever the number is. How many people live in this world, know what a Van Gogh is, know what a Pikachu is, would love to own that card in a PSA 10? Way more than 50,000 people. I mean, there's 350 million people in the U.S.
Well, and dude, okay, I have to pause you here because this is something I think about a lot, and I know it's like not completely rational, but like let's use 50,000, right? I always think, okay, there's 50 states. Obviously, Dominican Republic, there's whatever, but like I always do this.
This is the way you do math, yeah.
There's 50 states. That's 1,000 per state that I could allocate. Are there 1,000 people in each state that would love to own that card? I almost guarantee you, I could, even in like Montana, I could find you 1,000 people.
Wow, shots fired at Montana,
Van Gogh, and no, that's not firing at them. That's saying Montana's got good representation for their 600,000 pop or whatever they've got there.
Yeah, but so you take that math and it's like that's easy, right? And then you try to figure out how to justify the $3,500 price tag it's at now. And then you have to expand this globally, expand it by the income, and expand it by the amount of 50,000 is still nothing at that price point. Nothing. So like it could,
so many people want it too, and they won't pay that price point. Also, like that's
right.
another thing. Like,
but then they will also never own it. Like
I've
it's very
sold,
possible they will just
Dan
never
and
own
I
the card.
sold 400 of those things at a way lower price.
Flex.
I won't even pay the price I sold it at.
Yeah, right.
Like,
yeah,
as I don't have that
but
that level of interest for that card.
But if that card started to drop, would those 50,000 disappear very quickly? Yes.
No.
You don't think they would?
I think there's another 50,000 to your other argument that will
Sure.
come in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So you argue that the pop would then increase, but we're talking about a card that, like, let's say its lifetime cap's going to cap at 50K, and then it might have one or two trickle in a year or something, right? That card, if we're saying that interest is that deep, there has to be a threshold where that card would drop that they'd get snapped, right? And so what we're talking about is actually not that the pop number is scary, it's that eventually they will hit a price point where they start to become undesirable versus other things you could buy for that amount of money, right? $3,500, you can start to buy poor condition gold stars. You can start to buy,
At that point, you're not comparing pop report. At that point, you're just
correct. But that's the argument I'm making, is that it's the pop number is not necessarily the scary thing. It's the pop number in relation to how many people want it. And that's going to completely drive that price, right? Supply versus demand, blah, 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 blah.
Burger Chew.
Burger Chew.
speculation.
Yeah, that's a great example.
Idiotic speculation.
The amount of those graded versus the amount of people that actually wanted them, right? And so we saw the price on that plummet down. Now, the argument that's going to be made, and I know there's someone out there that if they ever watch this would be like, yeah, he gets it, because I know that he believes this, that over time, people are not going to have that experience that for every one person that wanted it 10 graded, where there were 10 graded because everyone was speculating on it and the price cratered down, they're just going to see a bunch of people leave the hobby that have them in closets and bookshelves and whatever, and a bunch more come in that see a McDonald's card with Pikachu eating a burger, and that card
that's going to moon again.
going to trend upwards again. And that right now is actually your buy-in time, and that over time, the interest in that card will start to increase.
Just like Unigaba again.
Relative to the price of what else you could get for that dollar amount. And that pop will become less significant because a good majority of those will have already been graded in, etc. And that card will start to trend upwards again. And like, I think that there's some validity to that, right? How long that takes, what macro plays into that, right? If Pokemon as a whole craters down for 20 years, that's going to really hurt that perspective. But assuming that Pokemon as a whole continues to like go upwards, that thesis generally can be supported as long as the card can have organic interest. It's finding like, where does it level out at? Like, where is it like,
does it have a Pikachu on it? And
how well does McDonald's continue to do well? That could also be another impact.
Yeah, well, and we find this for a lot of cards, right? Where they just flatline, like they hit a price and they just kind of stay there, and they don't really go up, they don't really go down. They're just kind of that price for a long time until something like macro happens unrelated to the card, the market booms or whatever. Elottie Charizard, we mentioned it earlier on this pod. That's a good example. One of those cards that just like was flat forever, had some spike during COVID, then went down, and then just stayed flat. It just went sideways because the amount of them that were out there versus the amount of people that wanted them just kind of found their happy medium, right? And then it just stayed. And it's just when you get to pop numbers that big, that can take a lot longer to like find that threshold. But I think Van Goghs for a while at least had found that threshold. And then, now we've had another wave of everyone trying to hype everything and whatever, so they're starting to do their thing again. But that's a macro event, right? So like this is my thing about like I think people get too caught up in like high pop and like god.
What about low pop?
What about low pop?
That too. They get caught up in that too because it's low pop. So it's like, yeah, that means nobody cared about it like for the last 30 years. Like, I don't know.
That was always the excuse about unlimited WotC was like no one cared about it, so they didn't grade it.
Sure.
It feels like we're seeing the craziness on the low pop side of all these insane Koro promo prices. I don't know what other, the WotC stuff that we're seeing that's lower pop as well, going for insane prices. I mean, I always look back to the Lapras, right? I look back at the fossil Lapras being like the big chase to complete that set. It was always the most expensive card. Now no one seems to care too much.
No one cares about Lapras anymore.
Right.
One, because nobody set completes, right? Very few people. And two, because very few people actually organically cared about that card relative to Dragonite and Gengar in the first place, right? It was a narrative thing. The hobby's grown so far beyond that now. Like, that's a good example of where, like, actual amount of interest of people versus, like, you know, a good example of this is Chansey from base set, which has still maintained its interest and still has maintained that narrative. But that gap widens, right? The gap, like, it used to be like, man, Chansey in a 10 might be able to, like, contend with Charizard because it's so rare and there's so few, and if you want to finish that
Chansey,
set, you
bro.
But, like, that gap is widening. Dark Magneton from Rocket, right? Reverse Hollow Challenge from Legendary Collection, right? Isn't it Challenge what it's called?
One of those trainers.
Yeah, the trainer. And then there's another one. There's another one that's, like, really iconic. That's hard to grade. My brain says Persian, but it's not Persian.
Typhlosion.
Typhlosion, T18. That's a really notorious one.
T17.
Or T17. Yeah, T18's the other one. I always do that.
Gemman's gonna have a conniption if you don't get that right.
I know, yeah.
The Gold Star Torchic, the Gold Star, yeah. I mean,
yeah. But some of those, obviously, people are like, actually, like, Typhlosion starter, very interesting Pokemon from that era.
I haven't seen that one pop up in this boom.
Yeah, Torchic, another starter, very interesting.
Yeah,
Pokemon
but not a popular.
Lapras, like.
Yeah, but
were you an Orange Islands fan? You like when Ash and Tracy rode around on the Lapras? So
those are like the worst Gold Stars. Is the Team Rocket Returns ones?
Are you good? Wow,
they're the worst ones.
He loves them.
That should have been a hot take. Are you kidding? That is so off center. That is crazy.
They're by far the worst ones, the most unexciting ones, but they're just low pop, and they're in the best set.
Listen, dude, you are so off center on that take.
They're in one of the earliest EX sets. So lowest. Okay, yeah, Reggie's by far.
Reggie's worst.
Okay. Reggie's worst. You win there. Okay.
Celebi and Alakazam, you think are worse than the 3 starters from Gen 3?
They're not.
Celebi's legendary. And Alakazam's awesome.
Alakazam's pretty sick.
Way better than.
All right, you just don't want to affect Ryan. Let's be honest. In his Celebi
affect his AD Celebi Gold Star.
Yeah.
I still am hoping I can buy one of those.
Both of those are super uninteresting. The legendary dogs are
the best Gold Stars, but they got ruined by the stupid.
So you go Japanese.
Sorry, the 3 played out the way it did. I can't impact that.
That set, that would have been the best set of the EX era by far if those Gold Stars did not get leaked out like that. It is such a good set. That's Evolution set, basically, right?
All right, chat, because we didn't remember it. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below which Gold Stars are the worst. John flipped his take. Now he says the Reggies, but then he says the Gen 3 starters from Team Rocket Returns are the worst. And that is crazy.
Yeah, what's
crazy.
your least
Mason, you're shaking your head.
Star?
Mason, other than the Reggies, I think we can all agree the Reggies are.
Right, should we go on to the next topic?
No, Mason. What?
No.
What? No. I'm not letting Mason. You're shaking your head.
What to do it?
You have to put your hat in the ring. No one's leaving this ring without being scathed. What are the worst Gold Stars, Mason?
Is there a Latios one?
There is.
That's with Rayquaza.
Those suck.
Oh, but you have to loop it in with Rayquaza.
You had to pick them by set.
You do.
You're just adding rules.
No, that's a part of it.
Yeah, Latios, they suck.
Wow, so they take Rayquaza down that far.
I think Latios and Latios look like.
You guys are gonna hate this.
I think they're terrible too, but the Rayquaza puts them up. What do you got?
Espeon and Umbreon.
Whoa.
Because they're not hollow.
Because they're not hollow. Get off me. I don't know.
I will say
that's a good take. That's a good take.
I will say if you, I don't know anyone that can objectively.
I love the Japanese ones.
The Pop Series 5 Umbreon is better than the Celebrations Umbreon, unless they are taking into account value, historical significance, whatever. But like just pure
everything except
it's
look.
Textured, it's foil, it's gorgeous. Like it is just a better version of that card.
100%.
Like
that.
Maybe I'm crazy, dude.
Yeah. No.
Hey, bring it back. I like where this is going.
Stand by.
That is a great take, Thrifty. I mean, I just look at those as the Japanese,
the Japanese are the actual
bro. You are saying that that the starters are worse than Metagross?
Okay, so that's Metagross, Groudon, Kyogre, right?
Bro, okay, you're lumping them, dude.
You have to lump them. That's how this works. That's how this works.
We're lumpy, dude.
I think it's really close.
I think that's a close one. But that's it. Other than, I mean, the Reggie's obviously worse.
All right, so we're already here. We're tier ranking them right now.
Metagross is a weak one. Come on.
The absolute best has to be Holland Phantoms, right?
With Pika and Mewtwo?
Mewtwo,
Gyarados. What about Charizard? Who's Charizard with? Mew. Charizard Mew is a strong duo.
Ooh, that Dragon Frontiers, that is really strong. They only get 2, but that is a really strong one. Okay, Charizard Mew, then it's Pikachu, Gyarados, Mewtwo.
I
agree. Fine.
Okay. Then it's got to be Evolutions after.
Yes.
That set sucks though.
Power. What is it?
We're not judging the set. We're judging the
Rayquaza is strong enough, I think, to lift the Latios Latias.
Bro, Latios, dude. Other than
Power Keepers
that I know people care about now because of Deep Pocket Monster and stuff, but
look at how they're swooping down. They're not that bad.
They're not that good.
I don't know. I guess people do.
Rewatch. I agree with Mason's take, but
yeah, well, I do too. I'm saying I 100% agree with you guys. Latios Latias sucks, but the Rayquaza is so good.
Ray's good.
It's so good.
It overpowers the 3 Gen 1 evolutions.
Rayquaza is clearly the best gold star out of all of them. At single take gold star, and it is accepted widely by the entire world because it's the most expensive one.
I think if Rayquaza did not have the difficulty to grade, and was similar to the others because of the silvering from EX Deoxys, I think Charizard would pass it.
I don't think that Charizard's that exciting.
I think Charizard would pass it for the same reason that Charizard has passed every other Rayquaza in the history of Charizards. Dude, Rayquaza couldn't even beat Umbreon in Evolving Skies.
That was a pretty good Rayquaza.
Actually, does Rayquaza even beat Umbreon in Gold Stars?
Well, yeah, because it's a non-hollow.
No. I'm talking for value. Because that's the only reason people value Rayquaza where it's at.
I mean, Japanese play promo. Japanese play promo might be. Yeah, I don't know. That Rayquaza is pretty high now. Japanese play promo was always.
Pop one is too. That's a tough one. But yeah, I think people bake a lot of monetary value into Rayquaza because if you look historically, Rayquaza does not outperform Umbreon or Charizard on most cards.
It does in the English Gold Star.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's why
the only one.
It's a midi pool. It's a midi pool at swimming.
Well, it's also is that his rookie card? That's cool. If it is, that's cool.
I'm sure it was in another set of the EX sets.
Yeah,
but that might be. Is that his? He had EXs.
Yeah.
In EX Dragon. Right,
but someone chat GPT this.
That was that. What are we doing?
Yeah, but I don't know. It's definitely his highest tiered card of the first era that he was in.
Yeah. How about that Greninja?
Okay.
That Greninja's pretty sweet.
So somewhere there's a debate between the EX Deoxys ones and the Evolution ones. Then after that, it goes down to what? Alakazam, Celebi, and then the
Pika, Mewtwo.
Or you think the dogs are better than Alakazam?
I like the dogs better.
Yeah, I like them better too. And then Alakazam, Celebi, then the
Where that Entei is fire.
Yeah.
Oh, and then
the Suicune.
Metagross, Kyogre, Groudon has to be in there too. Anyways, okay, we've got Mason. You never told us what's your top one.
My favorite gold star? Pikachu.
Pikachu.
He's pretty
Yeah,
mean
he's
mugging.
really he's like a little pouty guy.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough.
It was the first one I ever owned that I bought back when I was buying collections. Was a Pikachu.
That's cool.
So.
Okay, I like that.
You know, they did put Pikachu and Mewtwo in a box that came from the same set. You almost wonder if they did that just because it was Pikachu and Mewtwo, or if that was because they had some like data that showed that those perform better than like a lot of other.
And the other thing to add here too, these are the shiny versions of the Pokemon, and the Mudkip, Torchic, and Trico all suck shiny versions.
They do have like mid-ish shinies. I get that because they're not.
Wait,
different.
are they actually shiny though?
Yeah,
they're all supposed to be.
They're all shiny.
It's Torchic.
No, I get no. I get that they're all shiny. Oh, you mean Espeon doesn't look like a neon explosion all the time? No, I'm saying, but those three, I guess I've never really thought of as being shiny on their cards.
Exactly.
They are.
Boom, roasted.
Okay, same indignant response. Why would they make all the other ones shiny but not those?
They just don't have like very
Bro,
different.
the amount of times I
shinies,
can give you that
actually.
Pokemon has done something that makes absolutely no
Well,
sense. Like,
those
why
were
do we
also
always
the
put
first.
Rayquaza, Entei, and Suicune, two of them in a set, but not the third one?
That was the first set of Gold Stars. Was those three, right? In Team Rocket Returns, so they could have flip flopped after that.
Wait, no.
What was
Team
the first set?
I thought Team Rocket Returns was one of the last sets from that era.
Maybe. Who
Hold
knows?
on.
Yeah,
Shiny
Who
Mudkip
knows?
is purple.
It's not a way to find out. Let's just
Shiny
we gotta
Mudkip
move
is
on.
purple, guys.
Yeah,
see, it's not shiny.
It is a shiny. It's very
shiny.
like
It
not.
He is not
Purple.
purple.
He's not that. He's not that purple.
Not
He
just
is.
as good at colors. I
Back me
know.
up here.
No.
He's not that purple. He
They
should be.
broke the
If
code, dude. They broke the trend.
Sean, if he was more purple, maybe he would have been better.
He's purple.
I would say
Maybe. They broke the trend. That is weird.
Purple. Mudkip is blue.
Wait,
He's purple. on the
no.
card.
The dogs aren't shiny either.
No,
They
Torchic is
also
definitely
don't have.
shiny.
They also don't have like extravagant shiny versions. Those three.
This is Torchic shiny. That's normal. That's right. That's correct.
I'm telling, they just were lazy on a few Pokemon, and they didn't get.
I was gonna say because
extravagant.
Latios doesn't look shiny to me either.
They are.
Latios does, but Latios doesn't look.
Don't worry, they are. Okay.
All right. I'm okay. I'm
Anyways, okay.
conceding.
Speaking of low pop things and like the
Speaking
the
of
the pop report like dictating prices, like insane prices of certain things. I'm gonna tie in my weird take, I guess, with this of everyone needs to stop complaining and just enjoy the ride that we're on here, folks, because low pop, like, okay, the thing that really brought this up, that hit home for me, like that really just pissed me off, honestly, is all the videos I had to watch this week of everyone talking about this Deoxys, and now we're going to make a video about the Deoxys that PSA screwed up. So I'm going to complain about everyone complaining. I know this. This is so on brand. You just have to listen. Just allow it. Okay, please. Thank you.
You just have to listen.
Just or skip to Mason's thing. It's fine.
What else grinds your gears?
Future. It's okay.
Timestamps in the description.
It's fine. Please don't listen. It's
gonna be-
okay. It's okay. Okay. So the fact of the matter is like everyone is complaining because PSA decided to pay out a guy $20K on a card that they damaged, which like that happens, whatever, he's getting.
But they owned up to it. In their defense, they owned up to it.
They did that, okay. They gave it a PSA 6. They gave the guy 20 bandinis for the card, which, yes, it had a sale of $45,000. One sale. Can someone tell me if one sale makes a market price? Can someone please? What would
Today it does.
No.
Today it does.
No, dude. Respectfully decline that response. And
your card has been declined, John.
I'm just like, okay, if anybody was going to buy that card on margin or whatever, and you saw, okay, the last 3 comps are 20 bands, and then this comp is 40, whatever, that you would meet somewhere in the middle, because that is not the true price of the card. Technically, one sale does not make a market price of a card, is what I'm trying to say there. And everyone is complaining about it, but it's like they actually did what was reasonable, in my opinion. Like, I don't think that's a wild take for them to just pay out last sold like the last or averages of last sold versus like the newest market price, despite it being on their website. I don't like. Also, I just don't care.
Don't worry, Thrifty's got more stuff to complain about here in a minute. This is the one that broke the camel's back right here. So
to try to pad this out, does PSA give you like when they go to assess a card's value, do they give you like that number of what they come up with, or we're just supposed to take their word on it when they like upcharge you and things like that?
They give you they put you in the tier. They say it's worth at least this,
but they don't say like what the number is.
I think if you ask them, like, why did you upcharge this amount? Like, when you get that little thing that says, like, hey, do you agree to this? You can be hey, why did this get upcharged? This card's only X, Y, and Z. And then they will use, it's my understanding.
They'll just give you a card ladder, probably.
Tell you, like, what they assessed it based on or whatever.
Okay. So whatever card ladder said that card was worth, it was like, there you go.
I don't know if they just
card ladder just showed last sale. I think. I don't think it shows average price.
Well, I mean,
it does.
I believe card ladder is an assessment of
card ladder is an algorithm of.
Yeah, it's an algorithm based on like a lot. I don't think it's just one sale. Dude, that'd be so easy to manipulate.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it shows both.
The thing is like some dude could have bought a PSA 10 on PSA's thing. This dude's friend that sent in this card is like, this is where my tinfoil hat brain goes, because like you can start doing this now. Like on big cards, you could literally just be like, oh, I'm going to have my friend list one on PSA's vault for like double market price.
No, because you have to.
That doesn't work because that's contingent on like, oh, but I need PSA to damage it mid thing and pay me.
Maybe they got the insider at PSA.
yeah. Okay.
That's a whole
anyways, yeah.
There's room for manipulation. There is what I'm saying. Like that shouldn't.
I mean, all of these pricing algorithms, there's room for manipulation, and I think we've already experienced before that people have figured that out, especially with like a lot of these ponchos and stuff like that. There's, not to like dig all that up, but there's already been like a lot of evidence that has come out that there have been groups that have manipulated like Poncho Pikachus before and raised those prices. So you have to be skeptical on big sale prices that don't match historical trends. Now, according to John, we don't use historical trends if you do that, so they should just pay this guy out $45K. But I'm going to make the argument in Thrifty's defense that I think you juggling your balls over there. I don't know what you're doing. Anyways, I'm going to make the argument that well, okay, which is also still the same. Okay, I think Thrifty's argument has merit. They know I have ADHD brain today, so Mason just keeps doing Naruto jutsus over there, just distracting me. Look, I think you're right that
I'm just over it. I think people are complaining too much about stuff that like is
people
so
complain from their vantage point of what if this happened to me, right? If it happens to you, you want the $45K.
Sure.
If you get upcharged, you want to aggregate like, okay, let's say let's say the same circumstance. Last 3 sales are like $20K or whatever, and then there's a $45K. You send that card in and get a 10. Should you get upcharged on the $45K sale?
Sure.
It's a lottery enough to get a 10. I'd be happy with that.
Sure. Like
you should get
upcharged. It's the same price. It's the same price though. I think. I'm pretty sure a $20,000 card and a $40,000. I think
that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant.
That's what I'm saying though. It's the same tier. It's the same tier.
No. You're missing the point that I'm trying to defend you on, and you're making your argument worse.
Okay, thank you.
You're saying that you should be upcharged by, okay, let's say it was 10K and 45, which isn't the same tier, whatever.
Okay.
Wherever there's a tier difference, I'm saying you should have to aggregate.
No, then you should. No, okay.
One
then
could be an outlier.
Okay. I think I just answered a little too prematurely there. Pause. Okay.
Yes, correct.
Just allow it.
And instead, like if you are somebody that's getting upcharged, you don't want upcharged just based on that $45K sale that might not even be legit when there's 3 others that are lower than that, right?
Correct.
You want to aggregate.
Sure, that's something you should fight. Then
an average, right? Yeah, you would fight that.
Yeah.
But then why shouldn't PSA be allowed to do that same thing on the other side then when it comes to them having to pay out, right? The point is, regardless of which side you're sitting on, the upcharge or the not upcharge, the standard should be the same. How is pricing aggregated? and what layers of transparency can they provide into that to the public to make the public feel more confident in not just if something gets damaged that you're going to be compensated fairly according to their terms, but also if you get upcharged that you're being upcharged fairly according to
based
terms.
on right. Yeah, I agree. I like that. See, that's the thing. Is like I speak out of turn a little too.
What's the Deoxys Raw?
That's okay. I do it too.
What,
Huh?
Mason?
Mason.
Mason. What's the Deoxys Raw?
Oh, like $1. No, I'm kidding. It's like $100, all right? Because getting a 10's like impossible on that.
No, it's pretty spendy raw card.
Really?
Couple grand probably.
They used to be like nothing. They used to be like $5. It was so dark.
Okay, so it's not like they're keeping the card. The guy gets the card back too. Like I don't know,
he gets a 6. Yeah, and he gets the 6, and they grade it for free and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's still losing out on all that value. He's still got a card.
But his frustration is
it's a gamble enough.
This wouldn't be an issue at all if it didn't sell for that price. Is what I'm saying. Like it's just some other stupid point to complain
you're just saying to be happy. I mean, it's a lottery enough to get a 10 on anything. I've sent in perfect cards and I ended up with 9s. So be happy, be okay with it.
It's like
you got your money out.
They paid it out as if it was a 10. I'm still confused
because it was a 10 when he sent it in. He sent it in for reholder. It got a 10. He had a 10. He had a 10. He got it reholdered, so it had the new PSA label. So it had like all the security things.
Oh, so did he pay the $45,000?
No. Oh no, I don't think so. Actually, no.
What if he paid the $45,000?
Oh, I didn't check that actually, low key, but
I would be like, hey, PSA, here's my receipt.
Yeah, that would be an easy
one.
Different.
That's different.
That almost surely can't be
if you're
right
paying the record price.
That would be way too easy. Yeah. If you paid the price, you'd have a much stronger claim.
But also, if they're the ones that paid $25,000 or whatever the payout was,
you could just give them the.
But they lose their entire upside on that card of potential growth.
Right, yeah, that's true.
So yeah, where is the fairness in that equation of like?
Well, and that's what the argument people are making. That's really hard, right? Is when the markets move fast, cards go parabolic, things like that. In a card like this, that's so rare in a 10 to hit the market that there is little price data. Using an aggregate isn't a fair metric, right? Mm-hmm. And because, like, for example, a reholder fee also takes a percentage, I believe. And so but let's say it wasn't. Let's just say it was a grade because we know that takes a percentage. Like of an upcharge. Would they have upcharged it based on the 45,000 comp, or would they have upcharged it based on the aggregate?
We don't know. Yeah.
Right. And so like I think that's where like people's frustration lies. Because like, for example, if you have price transparency and you know like, oh, they upcharge based on the last 5 sales that are aggregated, right? Then maybe you don't reholder at all. Because you say there's just too much risk if something happens and they would cut me out 20K, right? So I'm not going to reholder that card. But if you assume that it's just fair market value, whatever that means, because that's what a lot of these companies do is FMV, well, that's what they're arguing. This is fair market value. And the fair market proves right here that this sale at this time is the fair market because that's what somebody's willing to pay.
I just don't think that one sale equals market price.
And that's the hard part.
A lot of people are overvaluing the one sale of like the low pop grails, like the Dragonite reverse holo from whatever Team Rocket returns a stupid sale for like $1 million. I don't know. It was like not $1 million, but like obviously.
Was the sale? Did the sale happen? Like before the guy sent the card in?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like 2 weeks before.
So dude goes, oh shoot, this card like doubled in price. I got this 10. I want to reholder it because it just jumped to $40,000.
Price I could sell it.
Maybe.
How bad does the case have to be to want to reholder it?
Well, if it's a really old cert case or something, you want to reholder it into like a new case.
People don't want to see
good. I mean, they reholdered the Illustrator at Golden, right? Like people want the newest, freshest case, highest security features, whatever.
They're like, if Ken Golden did it, I should do it too.
I think the argument is.
Could you imagine if that happened to the Illustrator?
Oh. That wouldn't have happened to the Illustrator, respectfully.
I think the case is, if this were to like go to court, in my head, the argument would come down to, how is fair market value determined, right? And because that's what we're arguing here. How is fair market value determined on both sides?
Anybody that's buying cards right now, if you ask them, how much would you value this card at based on current comps? Like if it walked up to your table,
you can't change the reasoning.
That's what I'm saying. You can't. Yeah, the standard that you use to determine fair market value, which determines every upcharge that every person gets charged every single day, and any damage compensation, which I'm sure also like plays into their insurance policy and all that stuff, and the insurance that you pay for when you submit, because you pay an insurance fee on that, especially like when you get your card shipped back to you, right? What if your package gets lost in the mail? Like that's the same thing. All of that has fair market value. How is that fair market value determined? Like what? Like, and this is the thing. Like if they went to court on this, that's what an attorney's going to argue, and they would have to come out and state how fair market got determined. Now, the reason this will never go to court is because if I had to guess, in your terms of service, you agree to arbitration when you sign up with PSA, meaning that you and an arbitrator and PSA will sit in a room and determine what the correct thing is. Like you'll both give your arguments, and it would never hit court. But if somehow it did hit court, that's what would be argued. What is fair market value? How is it being determined? And is that then being used on a consistent basis? If it is, it's probably valid. If it's not being used on a consistent basis, it probably
invalidates. You would think that they would have that in place, though. Is my
like? Oh, I almost guarantee they do. But that's one of those things that do you want
because
to
people don't know
that because it's a liability if it's publicized,
or right? Because people haven't experienced that part of PSA or using that part of PSA. They don't trust anything right now for some reason. And I get that. As a
company, I can they're going to have to trust it because they're the only like major real grading company. So like that's just the reality. Like you can, I'm not going to use PSA anymore. Okay, well then you're just going to sell yourself short. Like that, and that's your choice. Like you can totally do that, but it doesn't matter because the overall market, 99.999% of people that use PSA don't even know about this Deoxys thing happening because they don't sit and scroll through the dredges of Twitter waiting for the
thing
next
is like every big like even like Coop did a video on it. It's like, okay, what I want to like actually know from content creators that like are doing vending content or whatever. It's like, hey, if you're a high-end buyer and this card walked up to you based on these comps, what would you pay someone? Like, I truly want to know, like, what you would value it at as a high-end dealer based on current comps.
I think they would all say the cheapest way. It's the same way that PSA does it. They would aggregate it or average it out lower.
So
yeah, what else is pissing you off, Thrifty?
Okay.
Enough about this Deoxys.
Let's see. So once you're done with that, chew on that one really quickly, and then next up, what else is pissing me off? Okay.
I'm complaining a lot about selling too early, like we always talk about, but I'm still making a bunch of money.
People that are complaining that prices are high.
Oh, like, that's a good one.
You weren't going to buy it. If you didn't buy it a year ago, I can't finish 151 because it's so expensive now. Where have you been, my guy? Like, where were you when it was $60 for the Venusaur and $50 for the Blastoise? Like, it was under 200 for Charizard. Like,
yeah,
what are we talking about?
I want to back you up on this, and here's why. There's a lot of people out there that are already grabbing their pitchforks and they're angry because it takes time. I don't have that much disposable income. I can't finish a set in one day. The argument I would make is
you shouldn't.
You're fucking bad. You're in a hobby that reacts this way. This hobby over time, cards will appreciate in value. And sets and things like that, collections become harder to complete the longer it takes you to do it. So it should be under your best judgment to risk manage how soon you'll be able to complete your collection in a reasonable time frame. And the longer that time frame it will take you with whatever income you have is, the more likely you are to get priced out of it. And you should assess that risk when you start that journey. And if you don't, and you just blindly go into it and accept, well, I should have forever to collect this, however long I want, and the market should deem to my will. That's stupid. That's what that is. That's stupid. That's stupid collecting. That's stupid hobby participation. Nobody should be looking at the hobby like that. They should be looking at the hobby the way the hobby is, right? Like the hobby grows, cards go up, cards go down. Like,
it's like we've seen
if you're collecting a set and the market tanks on it, you're not going to be like, no. that needs to be more expensive for me to buy into. No, you're going to relish in that. You're going to love that. You're going to be happy.
No,
that the market
but they're not. They are that way. They get mad when it goes down because there's no value in it.
Well, yeah, because then there's no value and they don't want it anymore, right? But that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand people's frustrations because everyone looks at it from a main character lens of like, I'm a participant in the hobby. The hobby should be built how I want it to be built around me. The reality is this hobby has tens of millions of people participating in it, might even be hundreds of millions at this point, like over 100 million, who knows, that it's not going to curate and cater to exactly how one person is. So the advice I would give someone, if they're frustrated that they have been priced out of collecting some cards that they wanted because they didn't have enough money at the time to buy it or whatever, I'm giving benefit of the doubt that was the deterrent, not just being lazy or holding off or hoping for a better price, at which point it's completely your own fault. But that, like, I was saving up for it and I just didn't have enough yet, is that you should assess this. And right now, you should be assessing everything that it has extreme volatility and anything could go up overnight and price you out of it. So making lofty, extensive, risky collection goals that expand across years and years and years might be more of a financial commitment than what you're willing to commit right now. And that's just like something you have to go into it knowing, right? And like, I don't know. And that applies to anything. Like, this isn't just Pokemon related. Like, there's just like, you want to buy a house. Houses might be more expensive if it takes you 20 years to put your down payment together. That's just the reality. And if you can't put your down payment together in time to get your house before you're priced out of that house, you probably need to look at cheaper houses or find a way to increase your income to increase your down payment, right? Like those are your options.
Or it's just like, I think like you can, I don't know, just like being so mad about something that you can't have anymore. It's like, there's so many things you can have. Like, there's so many cool things out there. Like, you don't have to feel some weird like FOMO regret for not buying something. It's like, there will be a time you can go back. Like it's so sick. We know that this is cyclical. It's not always going to be $450 for the Charizard or whatever it is. Like that, we'll see a time when you will be able to buy it for cheaper. Like it's okay. Also, like
don't worry. There's a Pal World card coming out.
Listen, I'm just going to put money on that. I would put money on it.
I think there's a real situation where we've seen insane prices for all these things for like a TCG generational cycle at this point. About half Scarlet and Violet, and now we're halfway through Mega. I know it's hard to believe, but we are approaching halfway through Mega. And these cards, you know, the rallying cry for everybody that didn't want to pay for a certain card was to be patient and wait. And here we are. They are waiting and waiting and waiting. And they really want that hit from Surging Sparks, the Pikachu. And they're like, it's going to go down. They'll reprint it.
It did go down.
The window is closing.
But don't get hung up on the one card he used. Like, just get hung up on the message.
When does those cards go down?
When does FOMO stop being FOMO and it's just Mo? You missed out.
Correct.
You have to be okay with that, is what I'm saying.
Look at Destined Rivals.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Charizard from Destined Rivals, the one that everyone thinks is the greatest art of all time for a Charizard card. I agree.
Phantasmal.
Yeah, or Phantasmal. Yeah, not Destined Rivals. That's the Mewtwo set. But Phantasmal. That's the example I want to give. I was one of those people that I wanted to own a lot of this card. I wanted to own it at $300 raw, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And it got close. It was like, oh, 500, 450. Oh, we're getting there. Now it's like $800. And I waited too long. And is that everyone else's fault? Is it Pokemon's fault? Does Pokemon need to print more so I can get my $300 copies? Whose fault is that? I'm mad.
Yours.
And I have a right to be, because it didn't hit my $300 price point. So what are we going to do collectively as a society to fix this?
Complain.
That's what I want to know, right? But like, and I know I'm like being very like hyperbolic here, but that's effectively how people react with their collections. For whatever reason, they waited to enter, whether it's because they didn't have enough money or they were waiting for a better price or whatever reason they forgot about it. They made a choice, right?
I just think this is a marathon, not a sprint, and more people see it. Don't look at it like that.
Yeah, but
Get
Mason's
rich quick,
talking about the
baby.
perspective of like, what if it doesn't go down and you really did just miss the boat? Do those people have a reason to complain? And I still
It's
think the answer
okay
is
to
no.
miss out, dude. What are we
Correct.
talking
I
about?
agree.
What
I think it is okay
Oh,
to.
that's my stance as well. You know, if the price isn't for you,
Sorry.
it may never be for you. You know, it's like,
You know,
And-
look,
and
I'm
that-
to
Go
debate. I'm okay with people complaining as long as you go and do something about it after. Go cry.
Like
It's
what?
okay to cry. It's okay to feel
cry.
bad.
Like what?
Let
double
your
down on your depression.
Let your feelings out.
Yeah,
but then
feel
go
those
do
feelings,
something
but
about
then
it.
Go
Go make
some
more money.
Go cut a
spend less
lawn.
money on that and spend it on this.
Are we ready to speed run this new wonderful piece of technology that's going to ruin the entire industry?
Yeah.
Great.
The entire industry, right?
Let's go.
Well, that's of course being a little hyperbolic. So last week, me and John were actually together, had a great time, had some great Cuban food, and hung out and had a great time. At Gamma Expo is like for game store owners, retailers, distributors, publishers, all those types of people to come together in the gaming industry and just kind of show off what they're doing for the year. TCGplayer brought their A game this year and is dropping an entirely new piece of technology. It's called the Roca Sifter. The Roca Sorter is like the big boy. The Sifter is a cute little guy. Here, I got a little screen thing I can share, and we can talk about
fancy.
it. I'm ready.
Video.
I did do a video about this, but just so you guys know, it looks like a little printer, like a little desktop printer right here. It's a foot by foot, so foot by foot footprint on your table is all the space it needs.
By the foot.
And this little cute little guy, it can detect foils. It can identify the cards. It can price it for you. It can also run an algorithm for you in that same screen, running off a percentage of what you want to pay for the card. So this has been to be in game stores, at card shows, on the table for you to use it as a tool to both identify and price cards, kind of like through a machine. So just a little quick rundown what this machine is and what it does. And the price point is the most fun part, which we scroll all the way down. $800 for this machine.
This is not sponsored, by the way. I just want to clarify because
Absolutely not. No. TCGplayer, boo. Nobody likes them.
Okay, well that's not true. I like them.
A little too far there.
I love TCGplayer. Anybody at TCGplayer that watches this, you know I'm joking. So the hardware price is the one that's kind of like the whoa factor of it. $800, $25 a month.
Why is that a whoa factor now?
Because how much you pay for Roca?
Rocas are, well, I paid like $22,000. They're now $18,000, so they're getting actually cheaper as we progress.
Technology does, yeah.
And if you buy a Roca sorter, you get one of these bad boys for free.
What?
If you order.
Okay, now it really does seem like a shield pitch, but I have a question for Mason.
Mason is a shill at heart. Let's be real.
Mason, see, this is how you guys know it's not shield because I'm gonna hit Mason with a hard question.
Please.
If this exists, why does anyone need a Roca sorter?
Sorter is going to take things and put it in the absolute order for you. So the idea is that you run these two machines in tandem. So you send all your stuff through a sifter, price it down to whether your threshold is, if it's 50 cents, $2, whatever it is. You take that pile and then you send that through a sorter to inventory it and then put it into your inventory. So it's basically cutting down on the actual workload that machine and you as well have to.
Does it really? So like, okay, so you just got a stack of cards.
Yes.
You sifted them. Now you have your little stack. You go put your stack in your sorter, and let's say it sorts it alphabetically. That's how you want it. That's fine. But that doesn't commingle it into your existing inventory. You'd have to take all your existing inventory and put that back in the machine with the new inventory to commingle that correctly in. Unless you do a bin system, right? Where like, okay, this is its own bin, which some places do, but their own platform doesn't support. So that to me doesn't, how does that save time?
By your employees or you just not touching the cards that don't matter and that are not going to ever sell.
Yeah, but you can do that with the sifter. It already sifted the cards that don't matter out.
With this guy? The machine? The new machine?
No. How does the Roca sorter? I'm saying, why does this not make the Roca sorter obsolete?
Because I can put 1,000 cards into that machine. It's going to put it in the order that my drawers are, and then I can just go down a row and put them away quickly. And does all that digitizing for me. So I can just upload a CSV instead of doing it all by hand.
I mean, the value prop for the sifter is obviously way
higher. Yeah,
way
this
higher,
is starting to eat into the value prop of the sorter.
For sure. I mean, that's part of the argument, the greater argument that I was trying to make here. The barrier to entry, the skill set required to do this and do this well, it's greatly diminished with this new product on the market. Anybody that has this type of business can buy one of these. It's going to save them time and basically is like really supercharging their operations from what it is today. When this comes out, it's going to be very much easier to do all these things because you basically have a second pair of hands doing all this stuff.
You said it can do 1,800 cards an hour, right? For the price and scan ability?
And it can run continuously as well. So as long as you are there managing it and feeding the cards into it, it will work forever.
This is I've never touched cards under $5 just because I just don't want to deal with
he's
it.
Too cool for $5.
No. It's just again, just time value, whatever, right? Like I've always had a job. I don't want to deal with this.
Well, okay, flex on
if
us
you
harder.
Don't have
a job. I've had a job.
It's a job. Cards. If you are employed, what do you do?
If you're employed, you should only have bangers.
I work for a living.
I used to grind 25-cent singles, so this hits me home.
Nick just rolled over in his grave.
I know.
This machine.
I have all of your co-hosts right now.
I have fought Nick for years. Like,
I know. I'm not.
But this machine would make I would consider doing this now.
No, you wouldn't. You're so lazy. There's no way.
I wouldn't throw my bulk away at this point.
John's such a saying. If I was broke, I'd buy one of these. It would help me.
No. I think that this opens up like so many. It makes the barrier of entry of doing a bulk business, of doing a card business in general, so much like easier. It's cheaper to get involved. Like this is an employee that costs $900.
That's the cheapest employee Mason's ever.
$25 a month. It's incredible. So like in my mind, and I want you guys to argue this because I don't actually know this part of the industry quite well, but like in my mind, this should increase the demand for bulk, and bulk might come back alive. I know, Mason, you said this is going to kill it, but because it's going to get more people involved in dealing in this and make it easier to deal in this. More people will buy it. More people will sort it, sift it, whatever. I think that this will help the bulk market for TCGs.
We can watch it run while we're talking about it. So that's the inside of this little cutie. It will either be the greatest piece of technology that you can ever buy for your business, or it'll destroy the singles market as we know it. Either way, I'm going to be playing my part and doing my part.
Yeah, because I mean, this takes all of the guess, like the ambiguity, right? So a lot of the margin historically in TCGs that's been made is on inefficiency. Right,
is just being able to offer some dude like 500 here.
Like we've already seen more efficiency in the market. The more pricing data we have, the more margins get squeezed. You know, like a lot of times you can look up a card and it's market price plus its grade fee plus its shipping minus fees minus whatever. Oh, that's the PSA 9 price, right? Like you or like PSA 10 price. You know, like it'll converge, right? And especially the more volume, the less demand there is. This is just one of those things that brings more efficiency into the market, makes it harder for the little guy to win, easier for the big industry conglomerate to win, right? And like anyone can buy one of these, but it's still an entry point. There's still an $800 entry point. This is not a bad thing, by the way. I want to be very clear. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm just saying that like the more optimized an industry becomes, the more the margins go to the people that have the tools and resources to extract them, right? Stock market's like the most hyper optimized like example of this, and which is why like day traders, like the average little Joe doesn't win, right? But the big like firms and stuff can win.
I have a question.
This is just a push in that direction. I do think this will be one of the great, like, assuming it works properly, this will be one of the greatest machines that has ever been made. I was a big fan of the Roca sorter when it was first announced. I literally called the Roca guys and talked to them that day that it got announced, way back when. And actually, I thought that was going to be your argument, Mason, for why the sorter is still valuable, is making bulk lots, that it can make your lots, whereas it sounds like this
it can. I don't use the machine for that, but it definitely can.
Sure. Yeah. I know some of the bigger bulk operations historically have used those for that. But
hold on, question: why is this so cheap? Like, why wouldn't they just make it 5K or something? You know what I mean? Like,
because you make $25 a month and you get as many people to own these as possible.
Yeah, I think the idea is for them to get this in as many hands as possible, get the actual like infrastructure of it up and running, and people used to using it so that they can't live without it at that point.
Okay,
I to like make it.
So can it list your cards? Can it list them to TCGplayer?
Yes, it creates a CSV and it'll have.
So you already have to have them condition sorted before they go in.
Yes, there's no way
around. All right, welcome TCGplayer. Come in. Now here's the deal. I've had this idea for a long time. I have no way to execute on it. If you guys want to consult me on this, I'd be happy to consult with you. For exactly what
you're just speaking to them right now.
The perfect machine. Oh, I'm speaking right to them. I'm hoping they're watching it. I reached out to a grading company called AGS a few years ago when they had portable AI grading machines. Not because I was interested in their AI grading in the sense that like it can grade better than any of these other grading companies on a 10-point scale. I was interested in I bet it can be nuanced enough to tell the difference between near mint, light played, mod played, heavy played, and damage, which are the 5 primary conditions that are used not just across TCGplayer, but eBay and virtually every website that deals with trading cards. If you can create a machine like this with 5 rows that can condition grade your cards, you will be in the hands of every consumer that deals in trading cards to the tune of $100 or more a year overnight. Literally overnight. If you can remove the ambiguity of the average person having to condition assess, which is also one of the biggest issues that your platform has in terms of like sellers going on there and miscondition grading their cards, not appropriated to standards, you could actually revolutionize the industry. This is great. Don't get me wrong. But your next step is a machine that can condition grade cards. And I think the tech's already there because we're seeing machines that are condition grading cards to a 10-point scale, a 20-point scale if they use half grades. This is nowhere near that. And then you charge a fee per card, not a monthly fee. You could if you want, but if you really want to make the bread, you charge per card, penny a card, 2 pennies a card. You will be one of the richest companies out there.
Richest companies.
I'm telling you.
You're welcome, eBay.
Like,
riches.
I know, yeah, eBay. You're already pretty rich because you own TCGplayer. But I'm just saying, yeah, dude. If TCGplayer ever announced something like this, I would go buy so much eBay stock. It would be.
Well, there's like when I was there with Mason and another friend of ours watching, going through the demo. I mean, the software side of it is pretty basic as well at the moment. Like it gets the job done, but there are so many applications you can tie to this thing. The data, Sean, you would understanding how many people scan certain cards in around the country, getting that information. Like there's just so many. That's cool. Like that's probably something they would never share with people, but the amount of information that you can extract from these machines is insane. So there's just so many avenues that they can go on the software side of this.
No, 100%. I'm just saying one of the biggest needs
that piece of it
stores.
Would be...
like think about a hobby store. I'm opening up a hobby store.
Imagine, put yourself in the shoes
of having two
actually
stores.
own a game store. Think
Imagine that you want to be Mason, Cardinal Gaming, and own 2 game stores. What is one of the hardest things to do? It's to hire employees with expertise, because generally expertise costs a lot of money. And in this industry, margins are thin enough for hobby stores that like spending $40 an employee is like not a realistic thing, right? So you're trying to balance like, how can I pay a livable wage, but still, get the skills I need, but also not bankrupt my business. This is one of those things where you can have anyone load up a docket of cards and then take out a stack that's the near mint stack, a stack that's the light played stack, and remove all of that, right? That makes it easier for hobby stores to hire. It makes it easier for people to card condition grade their cards. Makes it easier for them to run their booths at events. Makes it easier for people to then decide like what cards to grade, right? If I go out and buy 500 copies of a card because I want to grade, I'll put them all in that machine first just to sift out any that are going to have damage that would be not even worth looking at to see if it's even a 9, right? Because it gets light plate or whatever. Take those out. Then that's just less I have to look through. It's removing the human element. It removes the human error. Everything's condition graded to the same standard. TCG players are already pretty much, in my opinion, the universal standard for condition card grading, but now you solidify it. There's nobody that will
also
ever
people
be able
suck
to
at conditioning cards on TCG players, so having like a standard
greedy.
thing is like,
yeah, I think that is the next logical step to this thing, right?
And look, require your TCG player sellers to own one of these and use one of these, and
not bad. And they would. They
will. Or like, if you want to be a pro seller, you have to have like one of those
there, or something like some incentive or a fee break. If you want a % off your fees, you use this machine, whatever. Blah, blah.
I
and
really like.
Know if your cards are
what are the applications like? What's your favorite part about it, Mace? I guess.
That this is small enough and streamlined enough where I can use it on
the size is crazy.
The actual like front end of my business. My employees can use it, and it's gonna do exactly what they're already doing, but with way less chance of errors. In a modernized system that actually uploads straight to TCG Player and not just like Quick List, which just like builds out a CSV for you. It takes a lot of the issues with the current system, like we use Quick List when buying all the time. It's going to be able to. I'm going to be able to have my guys go in there and correct that a lot faster, double check it, make sure everything's good to go, and then the only thing that they have to do after running it through this machine, if we're buying it, is condition it.
Is check conditions.
Check condition, mark it as condition, and then that list is done. It gets pushed automatically.
You can charge your customers walking in doing it too.
Sure.
What?
You know what would be cool? And this is what I kind of was asking about with like that you have to run it through the sorter and then you guys can plug it into your inventory. They can remove that step as well. So there's some back-end coding that they would have to do here. And like for them, it might not be worth it. But if their goal is to like really just like optimize the game store and make it efficient and remove like as much barrier of entry to where every store just has to own these, right? How do you remove that step? The only way you can remove that step is a bin system where like, and this is how like I think Amazon and places like do their warehouses is like where like say that it sorts your cards. This tray's bin 1, this tray's bin 2, this tray's bin 3. So it's like bin 1A, bin 2A, whatever. To where you can just take that stack and put it in a little row. And when that card sells, because it auto-uploaded, on your pull sheet, it tells you, oh, Mega Charizard sold, bin 2A card 4, whatever. To where then you don't even have to put it in, like, you don't have to commingle it with your existing inventory. You just go to that bin and pull that card. It tells you exactly where it is based on, like
do you
what
need
bin
a new inventory system, though? Or inventory housing system?
But that's the thing. But after that, like, so yeah, you would have to change your existing system, right? You would have to resend every card. You would be
changing it over to that from your current one, basically.
Correct. You would send every card you have through that, but then you would never have to commingle again. You would never have to put a card into an already existing system again. You would literally just take your stack out and put it in a new tray at the end. New tray at the end. Like, that's how it would always work. And it would just keep your trays in order. And, like, you would never have to, like, spend any of that labor.
Yeah, there's some issues with that, but sure.
I guess storage, like, when your tray gets small enough, now you've got to, like, find, like, you've got a tray with one card in it kind of thing. I guess at that point, I would just delist it and run it through again with a new batch, like, consolidate the trays. But I think, and that would still take way less time.
I'm excited.
I would love to know some of your other. We can debate the other issues later, but yeah, I love that they're pushing the envelope of the industry on how do we optimize. I think right now so much focus is on graded cards that everyone wants to optimize grading and pricing and all of this stuff. Not focusing on
is where the banana the money's in the banana stand.
Yeah, not focusing on like what the hobby store needs, what the card convention people need, things like that. And I think TCG Player is doing a really good job of that. I love that.
Shout out to the banana stand.
Yeah, I love that this is a more portable machine that they can take places.
Yeah,
I think that's going to help a lot of people, especially in a market downturn. If the market does downturn, as we've seen like during COVID, raw becomes king again. Like that's just the answer. Raw becomes king. It's the bread and butter. It's where people make their money. And so this is the kind of thing that helps efficiency and helps them do that. So yeah, I love what they're doing. All of those ideas are ideas that come because I like what they're doing and want them to do more of it. Keep pushing in that direction. And I hope they do.
I'd like to see I would like to see somebody, I think it's like a really cool idea for using at shows. Like if you're doing a local show, like if we do Chicago Collecticon and we're trying to buy a huge collection, it would take me 15 minutes to run that stuff all through this machine instead of sitting there like hitting rare candy, like taking pictures of 500 cards. Like I'm going to go insane doing that actually. So
Collecticon better be buying a bunch of these to rent out to their out.
Yeah, that's actually crazy. That's actually crazy. Oh,
well, like 1,800 cards an hour, right, is 100 or divided by 6 is 300 cards every 10 minutes. So the average binder is 360.
360.
Right? Somebody brings up a binder for the most part, and you can say in 15 minutes I'll have a price quote for you because you can run it through. It'll give you a price total, I assume, right, Mason?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you have to check conditions.
I'll give you this percentage, right? So yeah, condition's going to be your worry there, which I just gave them the machine solution for that. But until we
really haven't thought of that yet. Yeah.
You just assume. I'm sure they have.
See, I just want a machine that I can like put a binder into, and it takes all the cards out for me. It sleeves the good ones for me.
Oh my God, Jesus! You are.
Well, John, let me tell you. There's a robot.
Bulk is not for you, my guy. Respectfully.
There's a robot coming with opposable thumbs.
It's called.
And it's gonna do anything you want it to do. And
I gotta get on that list for the laundry folding robot. That's
that's the one I'm talking about, dude. They're gonna
have children. John, have children, and then they do.
Those are expensive, basically. Those are more expensive than hiring my own workers.
If Roca wants to sell those next, look.
The Roca robot, that would go pretty hard. It's an employee for your store or your booth, pre-programmed with everything it needs to know about every TCG.
It'll be introverted too when people walk up to your booth.
That we promise.
Plus, they come with a gun to protect your store.
Oh, yeah, whoa. It's like a Mega Man. It's Mega Man also.
A gun. Do booth vendors usually have guns to protect their booths?
I don't think so. I don't think you're allowed to bring firearms into most people.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think we need the guns.
I don't bring your guns.
Could you imagine going to a convention where every booth is just operated by a robot?
With a gun? No, I'm scared.
Not with a gun. Take the guns out. Just the robot. Could you imagine? That would be.
Think about it. It's an entire. You could attend every single show virtually from your room.
Yeah, from your bed, Squeaks.
From your bed.
We are that much closer to Wally, dude.
Oh my God.
Just sip my drink and watch the ads.
Sip your Mountain Dew and just shut up.
Universal basic income's coming, so we got a couple of years for that.
Hey, you be high.
All right. What was his name? The guy that
Yang,
yeah.
Andrew Yang, baby. Come on. Andrew Yang. Come on, bro.
Andrew Yang. My brain kept wanting to say a different
Bernie
name,
Sanders.
But, Andrew Yang. Yeah, he ran on Universal.
Shouts out to the Yang.
I think he was just
baby.
ahead of his time.
Yeah.
He also had some other crazy takes, but he was ahead of his time.
He's a little like weird, but it's fine.
Yeah, UBI for the wrong reasons, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
actually, I have no idea. I don't follow politics, so.
Yeah, you don't know shit. Let's be real. Okay.
Is it weird that? Never mind. Okay. Also, I had a quick question that I was going to ask at the start of this, but I didn't want to derail the whole pod, so I want to ask before we get off. You guys were talking about Girl Scout cookies, and John had made an offhanded comment about like speculate on Girl Scout cookies, and I've been thinking about this the whole podcast. During COVID, did Girl Scout cookie what happened? Did those spike because nobody was going door to door selling them? Like what?
Oh, they don't go door to door now selling them.
No,
it's all they have their own website that they just direct you to, and you QR code scan them, and then they.
But was that because of COVID, or did that happen like pre-COVID? Like, what was the cookie market like?
They stand outside of Walmart. What are we talking about?
Some of them do.
They're still doing that.
You didn't.
Some of them do, but we ordered it off of a QR code that was for each kid, and we just bought them through there. So
that's nice.
I went to a Detroit Pistons game when I was in Michigan, and there were Girl Scout cookies inside at the end of the game, just cleaning up.
Good.
Thousands and thousands.
Good for them.
Fire.
That's awesome.
It.
That's smart.
Well, there's some crazy theories about all that stuff too, by the way, about like
I love
how
good
big that
conspiracy
business
theory.
is.
After the pod, hit me with the Girl Scout cookie conspiracy theories.
Maybe
Is it
we'll
fun
do
than the
that next
Illuminati?
week.
No, yeah, it's like there's all these theories about like who owns the Girl Scout cookie like industry and business. And
Okay, listen, I want you guys to put your favorite Girl Scout cookie down in the chat below. Engage, just chat type some in the chat. I don't care.
2 hours later,
like the video. Okay,
Thin Mint.
right there.
There was also a point on the pod where I realized I'm a little more zoomed out than you guys, and it made me feel more like a Thin Mint.
You are the thinnest mint.
You want to feel better there? Are you good now?
I'm not
sitting.
Good. No, I'm gonna sit closer. Let's go closer.
Are we good here? We done? We done?
What
do we got left? Nothing?
I think we're
We're
done.
just gonna do this for another hour after anyway. So
all right, thanks for watching, guys. Everyone go follow and like Squeaks Game World. All right.
Don't forget to sell your cards on TCGplayer, the greatest global TCG marketplace.
Okay, Christian, get out of here. Shut her down. Shut her down.
Could be though. It could be. It could be.